In this section, I will try to briefly answer these questions. Of course, it cannot be done without addressing the issue of global warming, which is the main source of this situation and has dragged the world to an irreversible path since the 20th century, and where scientists meet on a common denominator. Global warming is the fact that the gases released into the atmosphere create a greenhouse effect and cause temperature increases on land, sea, and air throughout the year on Earth. Looking at world history, the climate was not always very regular. Sometimes the Earth was experiencing an ice age for a long time, and sometimes the world was warming up. In fact, scientists previously predicted that the Earth would enter the Ice Age again. However, the situation was exactly the opposite, and the Earth was exposed to a serious warming, which reached its peak in the 20th century, as opposed to cooling. First of all, living things that lived and died in the past pass into the lower layers of the soil over millions of years and become fossilized under the influence of pressure and temperature. We also use these fossilized creatures as fuel and release a significant amount of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. In the 20th century, carbon dioxide released into the atmosphere reached higher amounts than photosynthetic organisms could transform and covered the atmosphere. Some of the rays from the sun reach the Earth, some are reflected back from the atmosphere. Excess carbon dioxide in the atmosphere traps the sun's rays and prevents it from being reflected back. These greenhouse gases almost surround the Earth and prevent heat loss. As a result, the Earth may begin to gradually warm. If the world warms, glaciers may melt. Glaciers, which make up 65% of the world's fresh water, can merge with the seas. The salinity and altitude of the seas can vary. This can seriously affect the climate, and very hot and dry days may begin to pass. Many species living on land and in water may disappear. There may be thirst and food shortages. In other words, this danger may also bring the end of us. Scientists have done many studies to prove global warming. One of the most important evidences is the studies conducted at the poles. Scientists took hundreds of meters of ice samples from the poles and determined carbon dioxide levels in Earth's atmosphere during and between ice ages. With this study, it has been understood that there is more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere during warm periods. When these examples are examined, the carbon dioxide level at the end of this century was higher than in any previous period. These studies are serious evidence for global warming. The United Nations convened in Paris in February 2007 regarding global warming, and a series of decisions were taken at this meeting. Let's take a quick look at the potential impacts of global temperature rise, presented in the report. Sandstorms will destroy agriculture in North America. Sea levels will rise. 10 million people in Peru will suffer from water shortages. Coral reefs will disappear. 30% of the living species on the planet will face extinction. The mean sea level will be 70 meters. The world's food stocks will run out. Hundreds of millions of people will emigrate in hopes of living in favorable climatic conditions. As it is understood, the world is under a very serious global impact. Maybe we may not be able to completely prevent global warming. However, it is our duty to take serious measures regarding the emission of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. Just as this Earth is a legacy to us from our ancestors, we must leave it to future generations in a good way. Goodbye, stay with science,